This is a demonstration video of the SLG-2 automation light curtain by 6 Sensor Intelligence. And really this light curtain is our cost-effective detection and measurement light curtain. Some of the things I really like about this sensor before we get into the hands-on is its ultra-compact design with no blind spots for installation flexibility. As you can see here, it's a very slim design. In addition, we have no blind zones, whereas many of the automation light curtains on the market today will have a blind zone here at the top and at the bottom. With ours, our beams start right at the top and bottom, giving you no blind zones. You also are able to access the individual beam statuses of each of the beams via IO link, which is not a feature on all automation light curtains on the market today. We also have simplified alignment due to very wide light spots on our sender. So what this enables is really two things. One, it makes alignment a lot easier, as you don't have to have as fully aligned of a sensor for it to reliably detect. And then number two is it enables a lot more crossbeam activity. So for example, you can get up to 9 crossbeams for very thin object detection, which I'll demonstrate in a second. It's important to note I am using these 3D printed stands today. If you do not have stands, you can access the functionality of the sensor by just laying both of the light curtains down flat, and you will be able to see some of its functionality. In addition, it's important to note that you have a receiver that says R here and a transmitter that says T on the other side. You want to make sure that the R receiver is going into the right T connector. You'll notice you have a gold and a silver connector for your T connector. The R needs to be connected to the silver and the T needs to be connected to gold. Otherwise, the sensor will not work correctly. So some of the things I like to show today are its basic functionality. So this is your home screen right here within SOPAS, which is our engineering software that is free and available via sic.com. This will show you things like the number of beams available on the home screen. It will also show you some of the beam spacing for it, and then minimum presence time, response time, things like that. What we're going to do is I want to show you how this sensor comes out of the box. So down here, you'll see the cross beams available. So you'll have multiple options, 3, 5, 7, and 9 cross beams. It comes out of the box with 9 cross beams activated. Basically telling you that here's your transmitters on this side here. And for every transmitter, it's being monitored by 9 different receivers. And what this enables is very small object detection. You notice, so you put my finger in here, it's being detected by all these different receivers on this side. You can lower this to 3 cross beams if you don't have as small of an object, which you look at the spec sheet and it'll tell you the minimum object detectable for each of the different cross beam settings. Or you can set it at disabled. And this will basically just have 1 transmitter being monitored by 1 receiver. This can be utilized for basic measurement applications. The thing I also like about this is its alignment aid. And this is best done when it is in the disabled mode for cross beams. So as you see here, it tells you what your signal strength is from transmitter to receiver. So basically how much signal the receiver is picking up. Right now we're at 100%. Pretty easy to align this thing, but let's say you're 6 meters apart, it becomes a little bit more challenging. This gives you a visualization of how well you are aligned. Next, I'd like to show you a basic measurement task. And basically this is more like a quality assurance check where we have a sensor that's coming down a conveyor line and we want to have 1 output for this type of a sensor. But if we incorrectly have a larger size sensor come down the line, we want to have a separate output for this one right here. So how we would set this up is we want to make sure that we have cross beams disabled so we can do measurement instead of just plain detection. We're going to go over to zones and we're going to take your smaller sensor and we're going to place it right between your sensors and you're going to check how many beams are broken. So with a smaller sensor, 4 beams are broken. We're going to come over here to the top right and we're going to look at this Q1. So this is your Q1 digital output and we are going to adjust the operator to equal and then the constant to 4. And what this is going to do is whenever 4 beams are broken, we are going to have an output on Q1. Next, we're going to take our larger sensor right here. We're going to place this in front of the sensors, and we're going to see how many beams are broken. So with this larger one, we have now 5 beams broken. And so what we're going to do is we're going to come to operator. We're going to want to make sure this one is set to greater or equal to, and we're going to set this at 5. And what's going to happen now is anytime 5 or more beams are broken, we're going to have a separate output come on Q2. So let's do a quick check here. Taking our smaller sensor, we'll place it right here in front. We see that 4 beams are broken, and our Q status right here, Q1, is now enabled. So no output, now we have output. Taking the larger sensor, we'll test this one, place this right in front of the sensors, and now you see Q2 is activated. Last thing I would like to show is actually something that customers ask about quite a bit, and that is, are individual beam statuses available with the SLG-2? And the answer to that is yes, via IO link. So how you would access that is going over to your process data, and let's say you want to access the data for, say, beam 1. You come down to this line right here. That would be accessible via byte 3, bit 0, and as I go on, I just block beam 1 right down here. You'll see how that lights up, bit 2, or beam 2, beam 3, and so on and so forth. So that is some of the basic functionality of the SLG-2. There is a whole lot more functionality built into this unit. If you have further questions, reach out to your SICK sales rep. Otherwise, thanks for watching.